Oh. 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 Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Aim Saraswati Namaha. Om Shri Guruve Namaha. Om Bhuvaswaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Krishnaya Vasudevaya Hare Paramatmane Pranata Klesha Nashaya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityor Mokshiya Mamritat. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Welcome to today's Yoga Vashisth Satsang. Each Friday, we immerse in the bliss of this beautiful scripture, Maha Ramayana, also known as Maha Ramayana, by Vashistha Muni's guidance to Lord Rama and his path of enlightenment. Our humble prostrations to the all-pervading Brahman, to our worshipful Guruji, Swami Jyotirmaya Maharaj, to all sages and saints, all our holy scriptures,
and to the divinity in each one of you. हमारा दंडवत प्रणाम है उस ब्रह्मांडीय ईश्वरीय शक्ति को, हमारे परम पूज्य गुरुदेव स्वामी ज्योतिर्मयानंद जी महाराज को, सब साधु संतों को, ऋषियों मुनियों को और आप सब में विद्यमान परमेश्वर को. So let us take a deep breath, be in the present moment. सब कुछ भूलकर यहाँ पर भगवान के चरणों में बैठ जाइए. Forget about all the stress, the tension. Leave our egos, cell phones, worldly things outside. सब कुछ जो संसार से हमें जोड़ता है उससे विमुख हो जाइए और भगवान के सामने मुख करके बैठ जाइए. Let us have our presence in front of the divine self. हम में भी वही परमात्मा है. We have the same divine self within our hearts also. So let us all pray for happiness and joy everywhere. जहाँ जहाँ कष्ट है वहाँ कष्ट दूर हो. May the homeless find a home. May the hungry find food. May the jobless find jobs. May there be peace and happiness in the world. May our joint prayer help these souls who are working hard in this life and give them the ray of hope, O God. Give them the support they need. And each of us, even if we are lighting a small candle in a big world, at least it's creating some light. May that light reach the deserving people. तो उस भक्ति के साथ, श्रद्धा के साथ, with that prayer, that hope, let us read our worshipful Guruji's message for today. Swamiji says, Blessed Self, adorations, Divyatman, Shubh Ashirvad. Learn the art of surrendering every part of your personality to the goddess. How beautiful. Currently we are going through Navratri, the 9 nights of, during Ram Nami time, it's also Navratri, the 9 nights of mother worship, followed by Lord Ramas victory over Ravana, good over bad, the victory of good over bad. And with that beautiful thought, this message is to the goddess. God in the form of a god or the goddess. There is no sex attached to God. God is not male or female. It's an energy, but it comes to us in different forms so we can understand, ताकि हम उसको समझ सकें. So mother is full of love and compassion. The emotions of the mother are always very tender. And she also keeps the baby in her stomach for so long. So she creates a certain bond. And we are also part of that. We are a product of that divine mother. Garbh wahi hai. So we have come from our parents' wombs, but this world has come out of the womb of the divine mother, that goddess. Surrender like a creeper of immortality. So let us become divya, immortal, and Sharanagat. Surrender means we give our entirety to God. Faith is the sprout of this creeper. Faith, Shraddha, is the first seed that comes out. Good association is like the sun. Satsanga is like the sun, which we are doing right now. And constant remembrance of the goddess is the rain that helps the creeper to grow. So rain, sunshine, a good seed, good soil, fertilizer, our effort, all these come together for our creeper of spirituality to grow. हमारे अंदर ये जो भक्ति का भाव है ये तभी बढ़ता है जब हम श्रद्धा से करते हैं, when we offer it with love and devotion. The grace of the goddess is the breeze by which the creeper dances with joy. So that grace, when goddess blesses us, we feel the tingling of ecstasy within our hearts. And that feeling cannot be explained to anybody. It's like we are dumb, we can't talk, but we are enjoying a sugar candy that is full of nectar and bliss, and somebody asks you how it tastes. How can you tell? You cannot. It's your personal joy, personal experience. And the Divine Mother also is very happy when she sees her devotees, her children asking for the mother. So she supports it. Wisdom is the mighty tree that supports this creeper. So we always have to, this is why we read these holy scriptures, the satsanga we do through the divine sages and saints who have given up their whole life to this project, taki hum sab ka kalyan ho. They have done it for us, to help us, to guide us, to give us the same joy that they have received. This is why sages and saints are so giving, so unique. They don't want to just keep it to themselves. They want to share. The more they share, the happier they become. And therefore, that has become the mission for all devotees, all sincere aspirants. If you have a skill, if you have a talent, if you have some way you can help make this world a better place, don't keep it to yourself. Share it unconditionally. Don't worry about money, what will happen, what will I get. Then that becomes karma. It becomes worldly. When we do it for name, fame, money, it becomes worldly only. But when we do it for the joy of doing it, the opportunity of serving God, then we become divine. That faith is sincere, that effort is sincere, and the quality will be better than even if you were making money, because it's done with love and faith. So may God give each of you strength and wisdom to understand this important point. We are not just selfish beings, we are human beings. As humans, we are supposed to look at everybody as our family. The whole creation is my family, we should think. And the entire universe is my home, not just our physical address where we reside. Of course, practically that's fine, but mentally we should expand ourselves to be everywhere with everybody. Divine virtues are its blossoms, while liberation is its fruit. What a beautiful journey Swamiji is taking us through this creeper, that as we get the seed, we get the sun, we get the rain, we get the light, we get the mighty tree to give it support for wisdom. And then the virtues are the blossoms. Virtues? Kindness, compassion, love, humility, grace. All these beautiful qualities, while liberation is the fruit. So don't be in a rush to get the fruit. It first has to be ready. The juice has to come in. The effort has to go in. The creeper has to take its time, absorbing the sun, the rain, and daily nourishment. Then liberation automatically comes. So let's not be in a rush to reach the destination. The journey, ये जो आपका यात्रा है, केवल मुक्ति ही मुक्ति नहीं करते रहे, यात्रा का भी आनंद लीजिए. You should enjoy the journey as much as the destination. तभी भक्ति, devotion, you see, in devotion there is so much ecstasy that the bhakt says, who wants liberation? Devotee says, oh, you know, this is so joyful. I wish I can keep on doing it. I want to keep coming back. That's what the devotees say, you know, because they are so deeply, divinely in love with God. So that's that aspect. And then they say, mukti bhakti ki dasi hai. Meaning, if you have caught hold of devotion, then liberation is the maid servant of devotion. Maidservant. What does that mean? Yes, because devotion is there, liberation automatically will happen. But if devotion is not there, then nothing will happen. So first we have to have devotion. That is why we always emphasize, doesn't matter, we are reading these profound and deep scriptures full of wisdom and intellect. But if that intellect goes to our head and our head gets swelled up, then we become sick. It will not help us. It will make us, our ego will get inflated, the head will get inflated, and we will feel miserable. Even though we know all the Upanishads, we have memorized many shlokas of the Bhagavad Gita. See, that's not the journey. The journey has to be one of divine love, ecstasy, joy, happiness. If happiness is missing out of your sadhana and we are just doing it with a stiff body, a stiff mind, and as if we are wrestling with our sadhana, that is not the way. We are on the wrong path if some of us are doing that. Especially newcomers, you see, they go through that a lot. And it takes some time to fully understand. That is why a guru is required. You need a guide. For little things, you need teachers. You grew up, you went to school, you learned what you know today. You take a course, you learn. So all those are your worldly teachers, worldly gurus. But then you have a Sadguru, the guru who takes you and shows you the path of who you really are. Because we are always thinking we are this body, we are this combination of mind, what we think, the intellect, and what our senses take us, what kind of clothes we wear, what kind of cars we drive, what kind of homes we live in, whether we have enough or not. We judge ourselves by these things, but we are none of this, not even anything. And that is why sages and saints, they give up so everything and they still are in bliss. Some people want it and feel that they don't have it. Some people have it and they give it all up. What did Buddha do? Buddha, you know, Gautam Buddha, he was a king. Kapila in Nepal, he was a king there, and he gave up his kingdom and he walked out with a begging bowl. Now, most people today will say, what a crazy man. Why would he do something like that? A beautiful wife and a son and everything, you see? The journey of the soul happens in mysterious ways. There is no right or wrong answer to that. But when it happens to you, you will know. You will know. But just you attending this satsanga is a great act of divine grace, number one. Number two, your effort has been continuing for many lives, not just one or two lives, and many lives, and that has brought you to this point. First of all, we all have a human body, which itself is a big miracle. And then in this human body, we have the potentiality also of getting mukti. So this is why Swamiji is saying all this. So worship the goddess and witness the triumph of spirit over matter. So worship the goddess just like you love your mother with all your heart, love God and the goddess, and your spirit, meaning the soul inside you, the consciousness within, will triumph over matter. What is matter? Matter what? Earth, water, fire, air, ether, food, home, car, body. All this is matter only. So matter doesn't matter. Practically, of course, when you're hungry, you need food. We understand. But once your hunger is over, do you need food then? No, not till 4-5 hours, you're fine. Then you'll feel hungry again. So these practical needs will always continue. We are not saying that they don't exist, but what we are saying is that it's the spirit in you that really matters. Atma, consciousness. So may you receive the blessings of the Devi. So all of you who are listening and joining the Satsanga or will listen at some point, may the Devi bless each of you with love, compassion, fullness, happiness, joy, whatever that you need should happen. Hari Om. So with this beautiful guidance from Swamiji, let us do our small kirtan together, because remember, without bhakti, without devotion, jnana yagya is only intellectual. And we don't want that. We want both. We want the sweetness, the joy, आनंद जिसको बोला जाता है, आनंद भी लो और ज्ञान भी लो, दोनों. तो भक्ति and knowledge and wisdom, devotion and wisdom go hand in hand. They are complementary. They go together, supplementary, complementary kind of thing. So let's do this, and then we will go into Yoga Vashistha. जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश पाहि मां. श्री गणेश श्री गणेश श्री गणेश रक्ष मां. शरवण भव शरवण भव पाहि मां. कार्तिकेय 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 रक्ष मां. जय सरस्वती जय सरस्वती जय सरस्वती पाहि मां. श्री सरस्वती श्री सरस्वती श्री सरस्वती रक्ष मां. जय गुरु शिव गुरु हरि गुरु राम. जगत गुरु परम गुरु सद्गुरु श्याम. आदि गुरु अद्वैत गुरु आनंद गुरु. चिद घन गुरु चिन्मय गुरु. जगत गुरु सच्चिदानंद. शंकराचार्य शिवानंद ज्योतिर्मयानंद. शंकराचार्य शिवानंद ज्योतिर्मयानंद. शंकराचार्य शिवानंद ज्योतिर्मयानंद. ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय. शिव 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 शिवाय नमः. ओम हरि 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 नमः शिवाय. ओम नमो नारायणाय ओम नमो नारायणाय ओम नमो नारायणाय ओम नमो नारायणाय. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. ओम नमो भगवते रामचंद्राय. हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे. आंजनेय 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 पाहि मां. हनुमन्त रक्ष मां. ओम शक्ति ओम शक्ति पाहि मां. ब्रह्मा शक्ति विष्णु शक्ति शिव शक्ति रक्ष मां. आदि शक्ति महाशक्ति पराशक्ति पाहि मां. इच्छा शक्ति क्रिया शक्ति ज्ञान शक्ति रक्ष मां. गंगा रानी पाहि. भागीरथी 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 रक्ष मां. हरि ओम हरि ओम हरि 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 ओम. हरि ओम हरि ओम हरि 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 ओम. ओम शांति ओम शांति ओम शांति ओम. ओम शांति ओम शांति ओम शांति ओम. ओम शांति ओम शांति ओम शांति ओम शांति ओम शांति ओम शांति ओम. So let us continue our beautiful journey of this divine scripture, Yoga Vashistha. We will be discussing today section number 143 and 144. That's what we were discussing last Friday. The glory of knowledge. Jnana yajna. Jnana yajna. Knowledge, there is two kinds of knowledge. One is called aparavidya and one is called paravidya. Aparavidya meaning knowledge of the world. It teaches you how to be successful in the world. Learning music, speaking eloquently, becoming educated, earning a living, learning skills, endless. There is no end to aparavidya. But paravidya is known as the knowledge of divine, divinity, God, consciousness, Brahman, Bhagwan. What is God? Who am I? Why am I here? What is my role? When we start thinking like this and we start reading the scriptures, then we are, if we are fortunate enough then to get a teacher, a spiritual preceptor to guide us, then that becomes paravidya. We are now on the journey of paravidya. And whatever we do in satsang, जो भी हम सत्संग में ध्यान करते हैं, भगवान का ज्ञान लेते हैं, स्क्रिप्चर्स पढ़ते हैं, ये सब पराविद्या के अंतर्गत आता है. Knowledge towards divine. This is the wealth that goes with us. Nothing else can go with us from aparavidya. Whatever we have accumulated and this, that doesn't go. But the actions go. What we have done, good or bad, that will go. That sticks to our consciousness in the form of subtle body. We also call it astral body, but it's subtle because we cannot see it. आँखों से दिखता नहीं है. So we were, Vyadha was asking Muni these questions because Muni had the experience of going into the disciple's body. Remember, many of you have been following this for a while now. So in the state of bondage, the self has given rise to millions and millions of worlds. How long is this been going on? Countless. That's why they say, us pachde mein kya padna? Why worry about things that are beyond human ability to understand? If one were to unravel the mystic secrets of these worlds, he would discover Brahman as the reality underlying them. Behind each mystery, there is this divine energy. वो भगवान की सत्ता चल रही है, जिसको हम इसीलिए ब्रह्मांड बोलते हैं. ब्रह्म का अंड. Brahma ji is the creator, but Brahm is the energy above Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. The energy, we can call it universal consciousness, cosmic consciousness, God, divinity, whatever name you like. It doesn't matter, because that energy is beyond names and forms. Uska koi naam nahi hai, uska koi akar nahi hai. But when it comes into the realm of this world, there are names and forms, isn't it? We have a name and form. Everything that is created gets a name and form. So much in the same way, Ishvara comes. Ishvara, the rulers of this world system. Brahma, the creator. Vishnu, the sustainer, and Shiva, the destroyer. All three things are needed, and you see in your life, everything is created, then it is sustained, then it dissolves, ends. So much in the same way, but Brahman is the underlying reality behind all that stuff, everything. Science can tell you the smallest unit is the atom. And now we are going into the nanotechnology world, this whole invisible world of viruses and microbes and all that stuff. But even in an atom, why is the neutron holding the electron and the proton holding the electron and neutron and all this movement? Who is moving? Why is the negative and the positive attracting each other? Why is there motion in that atom? That's where we fall short. There is that energy subtle principle, what we as humans fall short, we can't explain. Therefore, we say Big Bang happened, something exploded and this world came out, as if you are saying you throw these materials and a building will get constructed. Will that ever happen? For small, small little things, you need so much knowledge, so much skill. Years you go to school. So when you see a nice building, what do you say? Who's the architect? Who thought of it? Who built it? That's the question. When you admire something, when you see these beautiful mountains, the rivers, the oceans, the bud blooming into a flower, a caterpillar coming into, blossoming into a butterfly, beautiful breeze, and then these big things happening. Don't we even think that this is not just happening through just the environment? There is some deeper intelligence behind it. इसके पीछे कोई ब्रह्मांडीय शक्ति है. So we are like little kids who are sitting on our father's back and pulling his mustache. And he lets us do it, isn't it? Because he loves us, just like our father loves us. He will come home. He may be a very big man at his work, but when he comes home, he will get on all fours and he will say, his 1-year-old will say, I want to ride on your horseback. Let's play horseback. And the father does it. You see, that's where we are. So Brahman is the reality underlying them. Brahman is everywhere, in every atom. So where is God not? So logically, then he's also in bad people, isn't he? If you're saying he's in every atom, we have to admit that he is in good people and he's also in bad people. He is in fragrance as well as in foul stench, smell, dirty smell also he's there. He's in good and bad. He's also in the ugly. See, we don't think like that. We only want God to look very pretty, very divine, very opulent. But the minute something bad happens, oh, how can be? That's evil. How can there be God in it? See, go deeper. Understand that good and bad are energies, and they are both relative. So when the good also merges, the bad also merges. Therefore, if you read Bhagavad Gita, it guides you very clearly. Samatvam yoga uchyate. Samatvam means equanimity. We have to have equanimity of mind, and that God says is yoga. Samatvam yoga uchyate. So that's what God also wants us to understand, that we have to accept this planet Earth the way it is. We cannot create our own concepts of God the way. That's okay. We always, we grow. When you are a baby, suppose as a baby, when you were 2 years old, you had toys that you really loved so much. If somebody told you when you were 2, let me take your toy away, he became your enemy. You hated him, you didn't like him, and you would not want to part with your toys. But as you grow up, what happens? You yourself give them up, don't you? The same toy that was so attractive to you, वही खिलौना जो आप छोटे थे, आप छोड़ते नहीं थे, अब बड़े होकर वही खिलौना आप छोड़ देते हो. Now your grandkids and kids play with some of those things. You just smile and chuckle, and you get some joy out of it, but you no longer are attracted to it. You don't want to hold it like it's mine. Much in the same way, we are like the same children of God. Like we don't want to leave our toys, but then you grow up. Much in the same way, sages and saints grow up, but we have not grown up yet. You see the difference? Nothing has changed. But at that stage, can we leave it? If somebody tries to snatch our toy, they try to snatch our car, our possessions, this, that, what will happen? We'll get very upset, very mad. But when you want to do it, you will leave it all yourself. We were just talking about Buddha a minute ago. So this is what we have to understand, that spirituality is not just a word. It has to be lived. वो हमको जीना पड़ता है, अपने जीवन में उतारना पड़ता है और उसके गूढ़ तत्व को समझना पड़ता है. Depth we have to understand. Due to restricted vision, every jiva sees its world as the only reality. Why? Because our vision is limited. We think only about wherever we can see, and each jiva is what? Each jiva, as our Guruji likes to say, is a pot of a ray coming into a pot of water from the sun. Sun is only one sun, but how many rays? Infinite rays coming out of the sun. Every sun, suppose you have a mirror and you break that mirror and there are 100 pieces of the mirror. Every piece will have the reflection of that sun and it will bounce back shinier than the sun also. So strong that reflection comes. So kya ho raha hai? What is happening? That basically is that we as the jiva have created our own identity of our own ecosystem. My and me and mine, my family, my house, my car, my possessions, my friends, my universe. And that is your universe. You don't really care about what's happening to somebody in Europe or Ukraine or Russia or here, there or whatever. You read the news and you move on. You don't feel attached. But for your own self and your own immediate people that are part of yourself, you feel very attached. That is your universe. Something happens, you cannot eat anymore. You get so worried. So he says that is our reality. However, in fact, the reality is Brahman alone. So what you and I are doing are also part of the cosmic dream, just as much as when you dream at night and you don't give it any value in the morning. राइट आप सोते हो, सपना आता है, जब आप उठते हो तो सपना भाग जाता है, तो फिर बोलते हो अरे सपना ही तो था, it was only a dream, and you laugh and you brush it off. You see, this is a delayed dream. What we are going through, when the sages and saints wake up, they also say that ये सपना ही तो था, but उनको ये दीर्घ स्वप्न भी दिखता है. They have gone through this delayed dream and they have woken up. So for them, it's no longer a dream. For us, it is our reality. For them, it's a dream. For us, it's like our reality. We are living it. For them, they're like, it's okay. That which is real from the point of view of the knower of the self is unreal from the point of view of the ignorant. So it's a progressive improvement, progressive steps we have to take. If you are an 8th grade student, you will feel very uncomfortable in a master's class, for example, because that knowledge is totally different from where you are. So we need to take baby steps, first 8th grade, then 9th grade, then 10th grade, and slowly understand the concepts. Usko samajh kar, build kar karke dhire dhire. One day we will also reach there. So there is no rush. If you try to rush the process, it will break. Something will break. So it is consciousness, just like Swamiji's Kripa message we were reading. Every day sunlight, every day some nourishment. Slowly with time, the flowers will come and the fruit of liberation will also come. So we have to be mindful. समझना होगा कि इन सब चीजों में समय लगता है, कुछ भी जल्दी ना करें, आनंद का अनुभूति करें. That is the only advice I have for all of us, that let us bring love and joy into our sadhana, into our spiritual practice. If we are only goal-oriented, mission-oriented and say, oh, why did this happen? I was meditating fine, now this light is gone, we feel miserable. That is not a joyful journey. When learn from every mistake, learn from every experience, and then stay in bliss. If you believe that God does everything for a reason, there is a reason. So understand that sukh bhi aake chala jata hai, dukh bhi aake chala jata hai, prosperity will come and depart, austerity will also come and depart. So the cycle will continue. Why worry about it? Do the best you can under circumstances that you are given. And when you have faith in yourself, when you start thinking positive, when you start loving yourself, you will make a big difference. Your life will change. In Satsanga, crows come and then they leave as swans. That is the glory of Satsanga. That is the glory of these teachings. And when we read them, we connect with them. Right now, we are connected with the Yoga Vashistha. We are connected with Valmiki ji, Vashistha Muni, Lord Rama, our Guruji, Swami Jyotirmaya ji, who wrote this, and all of us who are bringing our love and innocence to this journey. We want to learn, we want to grow. So when we have purity of heart, जब हम चित्त शुद्धि के साथ आते हैं तो बहुत तीव्र हमारा उन्नति होता है. Then we are willing and able and we progress very fast. That's what the underlying message is. So that which is real from the point of view is unreal. So it is consciousness within the individual that has determined the reality of the world through ignorance, avidya. Very important point to understand, that that curtain of ignorance is the one that is giving us the hypnotic state of the world. Does that make sense? We are walking, talking, behaving, eating, as if this world is real and it's our true identity. Why? Because we have that layer of ignorance that has not been opened yet. Ignorance meaning we are sleeping, delayed sleep. Just like in your sleep, you don't know you are sleeping in your sleep. You are going through the experience of the dream world in the subtle body, and that dream, your consciousness is making all those things. And when will that dream break? When you wake up. When that dream finally breaks, you wake up, then the dream is not there. You are in a totally different world. Much in the same way, this layer of ignorance is the one that is keeping us attached to the world process. When will this ignorance break? When we wake up. So the consciousness that is binding us to the ignorance, it is up to the same consciousness to determine its unreality and thus assert its freedom from the world process. See, this is where it becomes a beautiful thought, that if we think we are bound, we are bound. And if we think we are free, we are free. This Atma Sakshatkar is not an object to be acquired. It's not like you go buy a car or you go buy a house, you go buy clothes or whatever the world can give you, or you go buy education with your effort. But you cannot, this thing of consciousness, you have to remove ignorance. You are already liberated, you're already free, but we are holding to something, saying, I am in pain, I am bonded, I am miserable, I am poor, I have been going through all this stress, this, that. Why? Because we are looking everything from the viewpoint of ignorance. Because we are thinking this is real. And in reality, it's all part of the karmic concept and all part of the cosmic illusion that we are going through this. So we have to open that curtain that is preventing us from seeing the reality. But opening the curtain, I wish it was that simple. You just unhook it and it's gone. But that final veil is removed by purity, God. And why is this such a difficult thing? It's not really difficult. It's just that over several embodiments, millions of embodiments, कितने शरीर हमारे हुए हैं, उन सब में हमने mixture का काम किया है. Mixture meaning काम, क्रोध, लोभ, मोह, मद, मत्सर्य. These six enemies were also there. And then we also had compassion, love, kindness, happiness, bliss, joy, spirituality also. So we are the demons and we are the gods also. So mixed, right? Good and bad. That's why we were born. Otherwise, why do you think we would have been born? Wouldn't we have been liberated in our last life? So we are born because this is one more opportunity to purify ourselves and then finally open the curtain. But how much longer it is left is not up to us. All we can do is have a firm resolve, enjoy the ride, put in our best effort, and be in bliss. Then when it comes, it comes. She's a maidservant and anyway of devotion. So if she's the maidservant, one day she'll come. The knowable objects are the same as consciousness or knowledge. When this is discovered, the world of duality is negated and the non-duality of the self is realized. Dvait, Advait. We live in duality. What is duality? This is mine, that is yours. That is the world definition of the world. Me, mine, you, yours. Mind your business. I'll mind mine. So we create this whole world system of rules and regulations and processes, which is needed in the world. But in the end, once we understand that nothing is mine, everything is thine, we are the same drop of the ocean from which God, in which God resides. Then what do? What should we do? Go back to that. And we do it every night with our little polythene bag. We take our water of our ego and body and we sink it into that ocean of bliss. That's why you enjoy your sleep so much, isn't it? So blissful. You forget about everything. But when you wake up, the polythene bag comes out again, you come out again, and now you are part of the world system. No more ocean, therefore stress, worldly things, worldly activities. So this will continue till we poke a hole in that bag and then we become part of that ocean. We mix into that cosmic ocean. Then there is no bag. You bring the water here or you take it back to the ocean, it's all the same. So see how consciousness gives rise to millions of names and forms. अब सोचो ये जो कॉन्शियसनेस है जिसको हम चेतना शक्ति बोलते हैं, ये कितना लाखों नाम और रूप क्रिएट कर देता है. That sun through which it's only one sun but countless rays, and then withdraws them in the deep sleep state, much in the same way, just like the sun withdraws its rays in the evening. Does even one ray stay back? No, I'll go with you tomorrow. Every single ray has to go back. Much in the same way, we all have to go back into that cosmic ocean of consciousness, and that awakening will come. The only question is, in which birth, when is that time, and how it will happen. But it has to happen. It's the journey, because it's all part of, it's like God is sleeping. When he wakes up, the sleep is over. Pralay comes, then it's over. So all these things are there also. This world is nothing but a dream. But no matter how much we say it, no matter how many times we read it, we still forget it, because this is how the world system works. While the satsanga is going on, it's very good. Then, like an elephant, we come out of the beautiful lake, and as soon as we come out, we find a lot of mud. We pick it up, put it back on our heads. That is the journey of our souls, and that's why all the sages and saints keep reminding us, continue to do satsanga, satsanga, satsanga. Don't drop satsanga, no matter what, no matter how intellectual you become, no matter how many books you have read, because this will keep us tied to our focus, our priorities, our joy, bliss, happiness, and most importantly, you are staying in sattva. Because if you are not in satsanga, then where are you? Where are you? In the world. What are you doing in the world? Watching TV, talking about politics, criticizing somebody, and wasting time, or just watching a movie, who knows what kind of movie, and what it will do to your consciousness. See, so these are all choices. Nobody can force us to do anything. Each of you are here by leaving things that are important otherwise, but this was a higher priority. Something else needs to be done, but then this is only going to happen once a week. So you leave everything and you join it. So that means that this is beautiful blessing from God, and also your self-effort. Blessing from God alone is not the answer. You have to do both. A bird to fly needs both its wings. One wing is there, but it will not be able to reach the Himalayan heights. So if you need to read that, even the effort will come from God, but we should be humble enough to say, God, if you give me the blessing, I will certainly put my best effort. Things may happen, they may not happen, who knows? But at least we will have a clear conscience, we tried. And Yoga Vashistha is such a profound wisdom of self-effort. Everywhere he is telling Lord Rama, oh Rama, your duty is to do your job. And in Bhagavad Gita, same thing. Arjuna didn't want to fight and he got scolded by Krishna. Lord Krishna, wake up, get up. You can't say no. You have to do your duty, even though the world is unreal, even though it's like a dream. But in the dream, don't you feel pain? Don't you feel pleasure? Don't you go through the experience? While you are saying the rope is a snake, to you it's a snake. Otherwise you wouldn't have said it, right? You would have said it's a rope. But you thought it's a snake, so therefore it became a snake for you. Am I wrong? It became a snake. So now, unless and until somebody shows you it's a rope, you are living in fear of the snake. आपको यही भय लग रहा है कि सांप है, सांप है, सांप है. सांप तो है ही नहीं. It's not the snake. So then what is the problem? What should we do? That is where the journey comes, that we continue our sadhana. And when we wake up, there will be no snake. There is only the rope. The dream vanishes, and that's it. All this dream that we are in, there is nothing but divinity. So, oh Vyadha, Vyadha is the one who had become spiritual. What good fortune he had to come in contact with the Muni who transformed his life. So he says, oh Vyadha, if you were to travel to the east or the west or in any direction for a long, long time, you would continue to experience perishable objects in different forms. That's what you would do. But you would never encounter the destruction of the self. So God is saying, you will never encounter the destruction of the self. What does that mean? That means that you, even from your present life, if you experience while you were a baby, you were growing up, now we are getting little elderly, and one day we will be gone. But this identity of I am, it's mine, it's me, does not go. So therefore, the self is always a witness. It doesn't actively participate in anything. तो जो हमारे अंदर जो आत्मा का जो ये process है, that is continuing perpetually since many, many embodiments, and it cannot be destroyed. That's why in the Bhagavad Gita, God clearly says again and again कि इसको शस्त्र काट नहीं सकते, weapons cannot cut it, जल गीला नहीं कर सकता, water cannot wet it, और वायु सुखा नहीं सकती, air cannot dry it, शस्त्र, they cannot pierce it, and all that, all those things. So the soul is meaning. What is the meaning? Why is God saying that? He's saying, don't think that God, your Atma is made of these 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air, ether. Our body is made up of it. Our intellect, mind, ego, senses, all these things come from this, and the whole world and the cosmos, cosmic plan, Bhagwan ka jo kuch bana hai, wo sab yahin se aata hai, through this these 5 elements, but not the Atman, not the soul, not the consciousness, not the, that's why it is different. And that's why they say it's a anubhuti. Anubhuti means experience. We have to eat it. We have to eat the food to satisfy our hunger. And that is our spiritual journey. That's what it is. if you were so, you will never. So Vyadha is learning under Muni. Whenever a person desires with a firm resolve, he attains whatever you desire, which means you are the architects of your own destiny. Don't ever, what has happened and gone in the past, don't dwell about it. Don't worry about it. It's gone. It's over. Now, if you keep feeling sorry for yourself, oh, I was brought up under these conditions, I was done this, or I suffered so much, that will not solve your problems. It's just like you wake up from your dream. Do you worry about your dream? Oh, I saw a bad dream. For a little while, the thought will come, then it goes away. Another dream comes, a positive, happy dream. So much in the same way, you should also understand that you can make the change, but you have to make a firm resolve. Firm resolve. Anything will happen. That's why complementary to this, we are doing the art of positive thinking in YouTube. So those of you who are following it already, wonderful. If not, it's a good opportunity to catch up there, because many of us get deluded and sometimes we live in complicated circumstances. Sometimes we just need that little reinforcement to guide us that it is important. That is why we should always stay positive, cheerful, happy, no matter how hard the circumstances may be. There was this song by Bob Marley, huh? Don't worry, be happy. The landlord says the rent is late. There is something like that, isn't it? So be happy, meaning like find happiness in difficult times. You can do it. We all can do it. And when we do it, you know what happens? You get a special energy, some help will come, some support comes, your inner consciousness starts to clear and your life becomes better. You will get the direction. It's the divine law. But if we are always sullen faced, complaining about others, our difficult circumstances, this, that, then we are going against our karma and we are making it even more difficult. An already difficult situation becomes even more difficult. Whereas if you resign to God and say, God, we are your children as much as anybody else. Please give us grace and protect us, guide us, show us the path. That's a good way. And then the path will come also. So therefore, it is because if he does not attain the object of his desire, it is because of the weakness of his willpower, will. So if our will is strong, see how beautifully this is written by Valmiki ji, and how Muni is explaining to Vyadha that you are the architect, you can do anything. So liberation is not hard, it can easily come also. It is a byproduct of your process, just like you want to become a doctor, an engineer, an accountant, or whatever you wanted to do. You put in the effort, you continued, and you eventually got it. Much in the same way, these things will also happen. The self in him is the creator of endless worlds. Atma, this Atma continues to superimpose one body over the other, and the journey continues till we get enlightened. Therefore, there is nothing impossible of attainment. Nothing is impossible. You can do anything. You are the architect. So whether we build a hut or we build a mansion, it's up to us. So we should have pure thoughts, good thinking, elevated thoughts, and put in our best effort, and then not worry about it. Problem happens. Excuse me. So the problem comes when we have too much expectations. We want a certain result. We want it to happen our way. It's all Hari Ichha, divine plan. If it's meant to be, then God will make it happen. But you put in your best effort and then put it at his lotus feet, God's feet, and say, God, I'm done. I have done it. Now, whether I succeed or I fail, to me, it doesn't matter. To me, they're both the same. So now you take over and guide me and let me know. So now you have become an instrument. If you were the owner, you would be very frustrated by failure and very happy with success. Isn't it so? But if you are only doing God's work, if it doesn't happen, you give it to God. God, I tried my best. It didn't happen. So it's yours. So therefore, nothing is impossible. But you have to make a sincere effort. We cannot just, just say it and not mean it or not do it. So when one's resolve is weak, the objects seem unstable. Very deep, we have to understand. Because if we have to wake up in the morning, Brahma Muhurta, and at that time, the sleep is very deep, cold, it's very cold, and the comforter seems very warm and fuzzy, don't feel like waking up. One time, two times, three times, it becomes a habit and becomes very hard. But if we are disciplined, we have to go through the motions, get up, wash our face, get over our laziness, and be done with it. That means if we didn't do it, or if we say I'll do it tomorrow, meaning our resolve is weak, that's it. The objects seem unstable, but when the resolve becomes firm, the objects appear stable, they become the content of one's waking state. So these things are all flexible. What's a dream from one perspective is waking in another, and what's waking in another is a dream in another. So there are many world systems, so to speak. When one entertains two contrary resolves, the stronger resolve overpowers the weaker resolve. So that is why if you have more positive thoughts than negative thoughts, then the positive will overcome the negative. But suppose you have more negative, then the negative will take over. तो इसीलिए बोला जाता है कि शुद्ध रहो, पवित्र रहो और बल से काम करो. Be strong. सकारात्मक सोच रखो. Think positive. So if you desire to become a bird in the sky and a deer on the earth both at the same time, you may succeed in becoming one of the two or neither of the two, because they are conflicting thoughts. But the thought power is very powerful, but the thoughts have to be sensible. If we are 5 feet and say, God, make me 6 feet, that's not a very intelligent thing to ask from God. Practical, what is realistic, look at your skills, look at your energy, look at your education, then do what is capable within your periphery of your sustainable process. Then slowly, slowly you build muscles and you grow. When you are enlightened, you see nothing but the self. That is where we have to take this theory into our practical experience. But all the sages and saints, Lord Krishna, our Gurudev, everybody is giving the same interpretation of this, what we call the self. This is the same journey we are all going through. So, imagine, everything is the self. What does that mean? That means, how can you hate somebody? Do you hate yourself? Do you hate your body? Or, I mean, if one part of your body gets hurt, the other part also automatically feels the pain. Nobody is happy in that situation. Because you are one whole body. You are not just your toe or your finger or your head or your nose. Although they appear like different parts, they do different things, they perform different functions, yet they are all interconnected. You are called one individual, one entity, so to speak. So therefore, the self should be the supreme object of your resolve. That's why they say, man has been created to know his creator. That is the real purpose of our life. And in that purpose, we also have to eat, we have to drink, we have to wear clothes, we have to socialize, we have to live, we have to smell and touch and taste and blah, blah, blah. But suppose you make all those things more important and you forget about the purpose of your creation, then penny wise, pounds foolish, isn't it? We have given up gold and diamonds for for mud. It is the self that appears in the form of the multiplicity of objects through ignorance. Even in these objects, it's the same self. Now we are all educated. If we know that God is in every atom, where is he not then? Isn't he in things? Isn't he in possessions? Isn't he in good and bad people and the cosmic plan? Yes, but through ignorance, we don't see that aspect. We only see the utility or the likeness or whatever our desire is. We ignore the others, and therefore that's a disease. Avidya, ignorance; asmita, egoism; raga, dvesha, attachment, hatred; and abhinivesha klesha, fear of death. These five, when we get separated from the cosmic concept, cosmic principle, you call it God, you call it any name, divinity, what happens now is that these five have to be gradually removed, because they have come this, how long has this journey been? Endless. How many embodiments? Who knows? But does it even matter? No, it doesn't matter, because doesn't matter how long the cave has been dark. The minute you light a match, you light a candle, it will not take that much time for the cave to eradicate the darkness. Immediately light will come. If a cave was dark for 100 years, nobody brought a flashlight. You take your flashlight, instantly you see light inside the cave. Much in the same way, our soul that has been alone and abandoned and keeping us in this illusion for eons, millions of years, who knows? And why does that matter? Now that when that light will come of the divine self, that is the end of all that ignorance. All the past births are gone like a bad dream. It's done and over. You wake up and you see the self. Therefore, do not direct your mind towards the objects that are illusory. Meaning, understand that behind these objects, there is another principle working. Do not strive for a perishable attainment. Don't go after little things that will finish. Can you take your house with you when you depart? Or your wallet? American Express maybe? What will go? Nothing. Nothing. Not even your body. The body also says you go in your astral body. Subtle body. That's all. That's all. And causal body. Those are the two bodies we will go with. But the physical one cannot go. What to speak of our things then? So they're illusory. Do not strive. Gain insight into the nature of the self. That's what sages and saints are trying to tell us. That's what we are trying to read in every satsang we do about the journey of the soul. Do not wander in the world process anymore, because that's what we are all doing, wandering in the world process. Moving on to a new section, 145 to 149. So 4 sections we will cover. The Muni explains the mystery of karmic fructifications. Vyadha's questions were like Arjuna's questions. He was asking, why does the soul suffer? Why are we born? All those questions that many of us have from time and again. So the Muni continued, O Vyadha, the innermost self or the Atman in you is beyond the 3 states. What are the 3 states? Waking, dream, deep sleep. We know these 3 states. That's all most humans do. Either we are awake, or we go to sleep and we dream, or we even get out of a dream and we go to deep sleep. Then we wake up again. The cycle continues on and on. So though formless and beyond the reach of mental thoughts, that Atman sustains the entire creation. This is why it's such a mystery for science, for us, for philosophers, for religion, for everybody. This mystery is God's plan. And it is, they say it's so simple, yet it is so complex. It's a revelation, which means like we have lost something, and then when we find it, we say, oh, so here it is. But it's not something you create. It's not something new we will learn. But that experience is what we term as enlightenment. And it is irreversible. Once you get it, then you have to see the self in everybody all the time. It doesn't change. You're always in that state. That doesn't mean your practical life will change. We will not have horns on our head. We will certainly not look like astral beings. We will still get diseases. We'll still get old. We'll still die. We'll still feel hungry. We'll still have to go through the worldly prarabdha karma of the body. But inward state is of a monarch, of a king of kings. What monarch? But basically the ruler of the universe, because now you and God are one. Think about that just for a minute. How deep and profound that statement is. For anybody who touches that, gets that, feels that, what that must be like. So for that, they are called enlightened beings, which, by the way, are very few in this world. Most people are only groping in darkness. Even those who claim that they are enlightened are full of foolishness only. Because somebody who is enlightened can never tell you, will never tell you that he is enlightened. Because voice is not the proper medium. Eyes are not the proper medium. Ears, nose, smell, taste, touch. Vocabulary is not the way to express it. It's something beyond that. When we are saying weapons cannot cut it, fire cannot burn it, water cannot wet it, air cannot dry it, what are we saying? We are basically saying it's beyond our limited ideas of foolishness, of human comprehension of what we think we are so educated and smart. We are beyond, it's beyond all those things. So therefore, it cannot be done. If it could be done, don't you think all these sages and saints who are giving us so many things with so much love would have given it to us through our effort or to their favorite disciples? I love you. You are a very sincere disciple. So I confer upon you quick enlightenment. You see, we have to work for it. We have to earn it. Earn it. There's no other way. No other way. But yes, the knowledge of the Guru flows, the grace flows, the nectar comes, but push-pull, both sides have to work for it, not just one. So this is what he's saying. So the Vyadha asked, when the mind of an aspirant melts in enlightenment, the awareness of multiplicity is lost in the non-duality of Brahman. Such a profound statement that is, see. Then currently we are in the multiplicity. This, that, mine, America, India, this, that, these countries, these passports, these practical realities, this mine, thine concepts. But when enlightenment comes, no more multiplicity. All gone. No more different waters. All one ocean it becomes. So the Vyadha asked, O sage, you know the mystery of creation. Please explain to me how souls experience, like a dream within a dream, their different embodiments through a vast span of time and space. He's asking a difficult question because we just talked about how many bodies, how many experiences, which embodiment. What are you going to get out of that? Your consciousness today, which you are listening, is full of that. So you have millions of years of experiences embedded into your consciousness, just like you have all your data securely saved in cloud, Google Drive, whatever you call it. So if your computer breaks, are you worried? No, because all your data is secure. Much in the same way, he says, Vyada asked, now, O sage, you know the mystery of creation, so how is this time and space changing? The Muni replied, listen to my experience. Recall how I entered the body of a sleeping disciple and became blended with his dream experience. You remember, we all studied this about, I would say, maybe 5 or 6 weeks ago, where Muni had gone into the dream of his disciple. Within a subtle body, I had an amazing experience, Muni says. I lost the memory of my spiritual knowledge. Days, months, years rolled by, seasons. See the illusion of Maya. He was in a different body of his disciple, and then he forgot he was the Guru. No longer did I reflect upon the truth that I am Brahman. Rather, I became attached to wife, children, and relatives. 16 years passed as a householder, whereas the dream is continuing for the disciple. One day, a revered Muni, let's call him Muni number 2, because this is the Muni, he's Muni number 1, the original one. So then he, in his experience, he says, he arrived at my home. He was endowed with immense spiritual knowledge. I welcomed him and offered my hospitality with deep devotion. When he had taken food and rested, I held spiritual conversations with him. I, Muni number 1, asked him, O sage, you are the storehouse of knowledge. He is also, except he has forgotten it. Not the slightest agitation can touch your mind. You are not attached to anything. It is my understanding that as a person sows, accordingly he reaps. If you put in thorns, how can a mango emerge out of it? Every jiva, individual soul, experiences pleasure and pain according to his karmas, actions. So then he says, how is it that sometimes a whole village experiences the same calamity, such as a famine or epidemic? It's practical. We see it. A tsunami comes, so many cities and so many people get all destroyed at the same time. So then he says, are there negative karmas alike? That's a question. The Muni number 2 replied with a smile. He says, oh, gentle one, first you must gain insight into the nature of this world. First you have to understand how this world functions. Is it real or unreal? That's the first question. When we say this world is a dream, it's unreal, obviously, right? But you cannot say it's unreal because something did happen. If it was unreal, why would you dream in the first place? So, but at the time of dreaming, the dream was real. At the time of waking up, it became unreal. So, do you know who you are essentially or where you are located? He says, you're asking me about this journey of the different bodies and so on and all these questions. Try to reflect upon, who am I? When we ask this question, we will face similar perplexity also. Who am I? What is the nature of this world? What is this world? Everything you see is only sense perceptions. The sky appears blue. Is it really blue? No, science will tell you it's not blue. It just appears because of the limitation of our eyes. What is the essential and what is non-essential? Questions like that. Do I realize that I am a person in your dream and you in turn exist in mine? Do you realize that? Do I realize that? This world is of the nature of indescribable illusion, and this is Maya. This is illusion. This is called Prakriti. This is what makes this whole experiment so interesting, challenging. So few souls do get it, and it's the journey of the soul. It exists like a reflection in the crystal of consciousness, your own essential self. It is that self which has become this world of multiplicity. तो वही आत्मा जो आपके अंदर है, वही ब्रह्मांड में है, वही कण कण में है. That same consciousness is everywhere. It is Brahman that expresses through all these names and forms. वही ब्रह्म कण कण में, पत्ते पत्ते में, बूटे बूटे में, आप में, हम में, सब में वही ब्रह्म समाया हुआ है. Same thing. As long as an individual soul is overpowered by ignorance, it continues to experience karmic fructifications. तो जब तक हम अविद्या के मार्ग में रहेंगे, तब तक हम कर्म की गति भोगते रहेंगे. अविद्या is ignorance, and ignorance is keeping us comfortable and fuzzy and giving us another body, and we continue that journey. So from a relative point of view, those jivas which have similar negative karmas came together to experience a calamity that befalls the group, just as lightning strikes a group of trees in a forest. When lightning comes, so many trees are all burned through that lightning. Much in the same way, based on relative, this is all relative, not absolute. So from a relative point, negative karmas also come together of such people, and the divinity therefore does justice to them all at the same time. Because karma's actions, consequences have to come, so through some way or the other, and this is how they are dealt with. So do not try to find the cause for your dream. Can you decide which dream you are going to get tonight? What will happen? No, you cannot dictate your dreams. They just happen. The most important thing is to wake up from the long dream and become enlightened. So therefore, don't worry about what I was in which body, what happened where, when. Just focus on your journey, and always remember, devotion is a prerequisite to enlightenment. Faith is a prerequisite to enlightenment. Otherwise, intellectual wisdom will just chew your bones and make you dry. Won't help. It is certainly needed. We don't get enlightenment without wisdom and meditation and devotion and selfless service. That's why it's called Sampurna Yoga, integral, integrated, complete. And therefore, we have to do these things and continue the journey with a joyful approach. It's not a pressure. It's not to be dealt with in a negative way, you see. This world being illusory is not linked to Brahman through a real causation. It's illusory. It's all mithya. So when the jiva becomes free from the dream of karmic bondage, it discovers its identity as Brahman. It is really, once that enlightenment comes, all this is nothing, it's only God, only divinity, and then you see everything like that. While the illusory world is filled with misery, Brahman is eternal, immutable, and supremely auspicious. Think about that. On one side, there is pain, misery, death, homelessness, poverty, being poor, struggling, this, that. And on the other hand, you have joy, happiness, bliss, ecstasy, and total, but you are yet living in the same world. You still may be poor, you still may be going through all that, but the experience of the bliss is so overpowering, just like your deep sleep state. In your deep sleep, you forget about pain, you forget about pressures of life, you forget about everything, and you are joyfully sleeping. Then you wake up, all those worries come back. Except in enlightenment, they will never come back. You will always be in that situation, no matter how hard it may seem externally. It is the power of consciousness or Chit Shakti that has imagined, I am a limited personality, I am this incarnating soul. So that is the hypnotic state that the Atma has come under. And therefore, it is under the illusion. And it is this power that can undo this erroneous notion and discover, I am Brahman, the absolute self. So therefore, through devotion, sincerity, faith, wisdom, love, compassion, All these things combined, we start becoming pure. And when we start becoming pure, grace will come and mukti will also come. So with this, we conclude our satsang for today, and we will continue the journey. Section 150 and 151. The Vyadha attains enlightenment. That will be our section. How beautiful it is. Vyadha, a hunter who was killing animals for a living. And then he comes in association with a saint, Muni Maharaj. And now he's getting liberated. Imagine how beautiful. Hari Om Tat Sat. Let us do our arti together, and then we will conclude the satsang. जय जय आरती विघ्न विनायक श्री गणेशा। जय जय आरती सुब्रमण्य कार्तिकेया। जय जय आरती वेणुगोपाला वेणुलोला पाप विदुरा चोरा। जय जय आरती वेंकटरमणा संकट हरणा। सीताराम राधे श्यामा। जय जय आरती गौरी मनोहर भवानी शंकर सम सदा शिव उमा महेश्वर। जय जय आरती राजराजेश्वरी त्रिपुर सुंदरी महाकाली महालक्ष्मी महासरस्वती महाशक्ति। जय जय आरती आंजनेया हनुमंता। जय जय आरती दत्तात्रेया त्रिमूर्ति अवतारा। जय जय आरती सद्गुरुनाथ शिवानंदा। सद्गुरुनाथ ज्योतिर्मयांदा। सद्गुरुनाथ साई बाबा। जय जय आरती शैनेश्वराय भास्कराय। जय जय आरती विघ्न विनायक। न तत्र सूर्यो भाति न चंद्र तारकम नेमा विद्यतो भाति कुतोऽयम् अग्निः। तमेव भान्तमनुभाति सर्वं तस्य भाषा सर्वमिदं विभाति। ओम शांति शांति। Hari Om Tat Sat. May you all be blessed. May the satsang journey continue. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityor Mokshiyamamritat. Om Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayah Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Om Brahmarpanam Brahmahavi Brahmagnau Brahmanahutam Brahmaivatena Gantavyam Brahma Karma Samadhinaha Aham Vaishwanaro Bhutva Praninam Deham Ashritaha Prana Apana Samayukta Pachamanyam Chaturvidham. Hari Om Tat Sat. Brahmarpanamastu samasta loka sukhino bhavantu. Thank you to all who attended. Thank you Aaron Ji, Mark David, Sadashiva Ji on Zoom, and then whoever else I see here. Sometimes I cannot read all the comments, so if I don't mention, then please know that I could not read your comment very well. But I see Shankar Ji is here. Pranam Shankar Ji. It's early morning in England right now. So God bless you. And I think Mark David said he's in Germany. So again, 8 hours ahead, I think. Aaron Ji, wherever you are, all of you, God bless you. Shankar Ji, Yogini Ji, Sarita Nanda Ji. So nice to see you. Yogini Ji is doing a beautiful seva in Nepal, and she feeds the homeless, and she has done some exceptional COVID work there. So very good. Pranams to you. Dwayne Ji, Sadashiva Ji, beautiful disciple, and he has been kind enough to help me with some audio problems I've been having. So hopefully he will resolve some of our temple issues also that we may face. So we are currently facing, I guess, sometimes with the echo of the big temple. So hopefully we can resolve that. So thank you for your seva, Sadashiva Ji. Bharti Chandra Ji, Pranam. I think you are in Australia, if I'm not mistaken, in Sydney. So God bless you. And Shriram Ji, of course, our Guru Bhai and Guru Dev's strong disciple in helping us in so many ways. God bless you, Rekha Ji, Papa Ji, and Alex. How nice. Om Tat Sat. Om Tat Sat to you. Prem Flaherty Ji, good to see you. Hari Om, beautiful comments on Facebook you always give. Yafa Ji, so nice. I'm so pleased to see you. And Goedriji, your spouse, hopefully he's also there with you listening together. God bless you, and may your journey be blissful as you are going through your new baby, and soon that journey will also be there. So Yogini Ji, thank you for your excellent comments and keeping everybody motivated, and your own personal life is a great way to share your experiences. You're doing that. And Roshni Ji, aapko bhi bahut pranam presence ke liye. And this is what we have for today, plus everybody who will listen. Aap sabko bhi koti pranam. So God bless you, and may all be divinely blessed. आप सबके ऊपर भगवान का पूर्ण कृपा आशीर्वाद रहे. खुश रहिए, मंगलमय हो. May your journey be full of bliss and happiness, and take one day at a time, but live with joy and happiness. Hari Om Tat Sat. We will see you on Sunday. We will not be doing from the temple this Sunday, so hopefully we will not have much audio issues. And this Sunday we will be doing satsang from, because it's Ramnami and Navratri and all that going on. So we will be doing our Bhagavad Gita from the same location here, our Kutir, Satsang Kutir, and Sunday morning between 10:30 to 10:45 through 12 p.m. So we will continue that journey. Om Tat Sat. May you all be blessed. Hari Om Tat Sat. Hari Om Tat Sat.